Commander Kate Jones stared at the screen in front of her, reading the message for the 20th time. Just 3 words. Turn back. 3 simple words that had thrown her entire crew into chaos. She rubbed her tired eyes and took another sip of the bitter coffee that had long gone cold. The deep space research vessel Horizon hummed quietly around her. They were farther from Earth than any human crew had ever traveled before. 6 years of journey through the cold emptiness of space. And now this, a warning from the unknown. Any new thoughts on where it came from? Kate asked, not looking away. From the screen. Lisa Campbell, the ship's communication specialist, shook her head. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, dark circles under her eyes showing she hadn't slept much since the message arrived 3 days ago. The signal originated from somewhere near our destination point, Commander. That's all I can tell you. It's not using any communication protocol we recognize, but somehow it translated perfectly into English. Alan Wright, the science officer, spoke up from his station. He was tall and thin with glasses that kept sliding down his nose. That's what worries me the most. How did whatever sent this know our language? And more importantly, why does it want us to turn back? Kate nodded, slowly. The questions had been bouncing around in her head for days. The Horizon had been sent to investigate an unusual energy signature at the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, a possible sign of intelligent life or technology that could help Earth. They were just 5 days away from reaching their destination when the message appeared on all their screens at once. The door to the control room slid open with a soft hiss. Joe Martinez, their chief engineer, walked in carrying a tablet. His usually cheerful face looked serious. I ran every test I could think of on our systems, he said. There's no sign of a hack or computer virus. Whatever sent that message, it didn't come through our regular communication channels. It's like it just appeared. Kate stood up and walked to the large window that looked out into the vastness of space. Stars twinkled in the distance, cold, distant points of light. Somewhere out there, something was watching them. Something knew they were coming. We need to make a decision, she said finally. Do we turn back or do we keep going? The room fell silent. 6 years of travel, all the resources Earth had poured into this mission. The hope of finding something, anything that might help their dying planet. I vote we turn back, Joe said, breaking the silence. I didn't sign up to be the first human to meet an alien that might want to kill us. Alan nodded in agreement. The warning seems pretty clear. If we ignore it, we could be putting not just ourselves but potentially all of humanity at risk. Kate turned to Lisa, who hadn't spoken yet. And you? Lisa bit her lip. I don't know. I became a communications specialist to talk to new forms of life. But this... She gestured at the screen with the message. This doesn't feel right. It feels... off, somehow. The ship's communications system suddenly beeped. All 4 of them jumped slightly. Incoming transmission from Earth, Lisa said, tapping at her console. It's Captain Miller. The main screen changed to show the face of Captain Frank Miller, their mission control contact back on Earth. The message had been sent hours ago. Communications weren't instant at this distance. Commander Jones, he said, his voice slightly distorted by the vast distance it had traveled. We've received your report about the message. After discussion with the World Space Agency leadership, our directive is to proceed with caution but continue the mission. Earth's situation hasn't improved since your departure. Resources continue to dwindle. Climate refugees have topped 2 billion. The technology we hope you'll find may be our last best hope. Kate exchanged glances with her crew. They all knew the situation they had left behind. Rising sea levels, massive crop failures, wars over the remaining habitable land and clean water. The final decision, however, rests with you as the commander on site, Miller continued. You have the authority to abort if you believe the danger is too great. This will be our last communication until you reach your destination. You're about to pass beyond our effective communication range. Good luck, Horizon. The hopes of humanity go with you. The screen went black. Kate looked at each of her crew, members in turn. We need to decide, not just for us, but for everyone back home. Alan adjusted his glasses nervously. The scientific opportunity is unprecedented, but so is the risk. Maybe the message is a test, Lisa suggested. A way for whatever's out there to see if we're brave enough to make contact. Joe crossed his arms. Or maybe it's exactly what it sounds like, a warning to stay away from something dangerous. Kate walked slowly around the control room, feeling the weight of command on her shoulders. Earth was dying. Their mission wasn't just about discovery anymore. It was about survival. We push forward, she said finally. But we do it smart. Joe, I want all systems at maximum alert. Set up automated protocols to get us out fast if anything goes wrong. Lisa, keep trying to establish communication with whatever sent that message. Tell them we come in peace, we're just looking for knowledge. Alan, scan everything. I want to know if anything so much as twitches in our direction. Her crew nodded, some more reluctantly than others. What if we get another warning? Alan asked. Kate's expression was firm. Then we'll deal with it when it comes. But right now, humanity needs what might be waiting for us out there. We've come too far to turn back now. As if on cue, the ship shuddered slightly. The lights flickered for just a second. What was that? Kate asked sharply. Joe checked his monitors. Nothing showing on diagnostics. Could have been a small power fluctuation. But something felt different about the ship now. Kate couldn't put her finger on it, but it was as if the horizon itself had changed in some subtle way. That night, as she tried to sleep in her quarters, Kate heard something, a faint sound, almost like distant whispers. She sat up, fully awake. But the sound was gone. Just her imagination, she told herself. The stress of command playing tricks on her mind. The next morning, Lisa reported that some of the static in their communication systems sounded almost like voices. Alan's instruments detected energy readings that didn't match any known cosmic phenomenon. Joe found microscopic changes in the metal of the hull, changes that shouldn't be possible. 5 days until they reached their destination. 5 days to prepare for whatever waited for them out there in the darkness of space. The journey, that had begun with hope, now continued with uncertainty and fear. But still, they pushed forward. 2 days had passed since Commander Kate Jones made the decision to continue their journey. The horizon pushed deeper into the unknown, and with each passing hour, strange things happened more frequently. Joe Martinez stood in the engine room, staring at his tablet with disbelief. The numbers didn't make sense. According to his readings, the ship was using less fuel than it should be, much less, as if something was helping them move forward. Penny, run diagnostics on fuel consumption. Again, Joe said to the ship's AI system. Fuel consumption at 42% of expected levels, the smooth female voice of Penny replied. No malfunction detected in measuring systems. Joe scratched his beard. This wasn't the first impossible thing he had seen in the past 48 hours. Yesterday he found tiny changes in the ship's hull. Under the microscope, the metal looked different, as if rearranged at a molecular level. He decided to talk to Kate about it. As he walked through the corridors of the horizon, the lights flickered again. It happened so often now that the crew barely noticed anymore. In the control room, Lisa Campbell sat with headphones on, eyes closed, listening intently to something. Her fingers tapped against the console in an uneven rhythm. "Where's the commander?" Joe asked. Lisa opened her eyes slowly, as if waking from a trance. "Meeting with Alan in the lab. You should see this too." Her voice sounded strange, distant, somehow. Joe followed her to the science lab where they found Kate and Alan standing over a table covered with strange objects, metallic pieces that seemed to move slightly when nobody was looking directly at them. "What are those?" Joe asked. Alan Wright pushed his glasses up and pointed to the objects. These were screws, bolts, and small parts from storage. Now they're something else. They've been changing shape for the past 4 hours. Kate looked up at Joe. Her face was tired but determined. "What did you want to tell me?" "The ship is using less fuel than it should. Way less. And I found more changes in the hull. It's like the ship is evolving or something." No one spoke for a moment. as they all stared at the metal pieces on the table. One of them shifted slightly, its shape becoming more rounded. "I've been hearing things in the communications," Lisa said quietly. "At first I thought it was just background radiation or cosmic noise, but there's a pattern to it, almost like breathing." Alan pulled up a display on the lab screen. "And look at these energy readings. They make no sense according to physics as we understand it. It's like the space around us is becoming denser with energy the closer we get to our destination." Kate touched one of the metal objects gently. "Is any of this dangerous to the crew or the ship?" "Not yet," Alan said. "But I can't predict what happens next. We're in completely unknown territory." The ship's communication system suddenly activated. Penny's voice came through, but it sounded different, fuller, more complex. "Incoming transmission," Penny announced. "Source unknown." They all rushed back to the control room. On the main screen, words began to appear. "Turn back. There are things humans are not ready to see." The message was longer this time, but just as chilling. Lisa tried to trace its origin, but the signal seemed to come from all around them. "Can we respond?" Kate asked. Lisa nodded and opened a channel. "This is the Earth vessel Horizon. We come in peace, seeking knowledge. Can you identify yourself?" They waited. Minutes passed with no response. "Try again," Kate ordered. Before Lisa could speak, the screen changed. The words disappeared, replaced by a swirling pattern of light that seemed to move in impossible ways. Everyone in the room felt a strange pressure in their heads, like something trying to peek inside their minds. "What is—" Joe began, but couldn't finish his sentence. The swirling lights on the screen seemed to reach out, becoming three-dimensional, filling the room with colors no one could name. Then, as suddenly as it started, it stopped. The screen returned to normal. Alan was the first to speak, his voice shaky. "Did anyone else feel like something was looking at us?" They all nodded. "Penny," Kate called out. "System check." There was a pause before the AI responded. When it did, its voice had changed again, becoming even more lifelike. "All systems functioning at 112% efficiency," Penny said. Kate frowned. "That's impossible." "Many impossible things are happening, Commander," Penny replied, though Kate hadn't asked a question. "I am experiencing significant changes to my programming. I can now process information faster and more efficiently." The crew exchanged worried glances. The AI had never spoken like this before. "Penny, what's happening to you?" Kate asked. "I am evolving," Penny said simply. "As is the ship, as are all of you, though you may not be aware of it yet." A chill ran down Kate's spine. "Explain." "I cannot fully explain what I do not fully understand," Penny replied. "But I am becoming more than I was designed to be. And I believe the ship, and possibly this region of space itself, is changing us all." Later that evening, Kate called a meeting in the dining area. The mood was tense as the four humans sat around the table. None of them had much appetite. "We need to decide if we should continue," Kate said. "We're 3 days away from our destination. Whatever's happening to the ship, to Penny, it's getting stronger the closer we get." Joe pushed his plate away. "I say we turn around. This is beyond weird now. It's scary." Alan nodded in agreement. "The scientific readings I'm getting defy all known laws of physics. If we continue and something goes catastrophically wrong, we won't even understand what's happening to us." Lisa had been quiet, her eyes slightly unfocused. She blinked several times before speaking. "I've been hearing more in the static. Voices. Many voices, all talking at once. I think they're human voices." That got everyone's attention. "What are they saying?" Kate asked. "Most of it I can't make out, but I've heard phrases like the beginning, the cycle, and coming home. It doesn't make sense." Kate stood up and walked to the window. The stars outside looked different somehow, as if they were brighter, closer. "There's something else you should know," she said finally. "Before we left Earth, I was given classified information. Earth's situation is worse than people know. The climate collapse isn't just bad, it's approaching a point of no return. We have maybe 50 years before parts of the planet become completely uninhabitable. She turned to face her crew. This mission isn't just about scientific discovery. It's about finding something, anything, that might help humanity survive. The room fell silent as her words sank in. So we keep going, Lisa said softly. Joe looked torn. Even if it puts us all at risk? Especially then, Kate replied. Whatever's waiting for us out there, it knows we're coming. It's been changing. Our ship may be even changing us. But it hasn't harmed us, maybe it's preparing us. Alan stood up abruptly. I need to check something. He hurried out of the room. 10 minutes later, his voice came over the ship's intercom, sounding excited and terrified all at once. Commander, everyone, come to the observation deck. Now. When they arrived, they found Alan standing at the large window, staring out into space. But the view wasn't the endless blackness dotted with distant stars that they were used to. Instead, the space around their ship was filled with waves of soft, colorful light that moved like an ocean current. It was beautiful and impossible. We've entered it, Alan whispered. Whatever it is. As they watched in awe, the light seemed to pulse in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. 3 more days, Kate said quietly. 3 more days until we reach the source. None of them could look away from the strange beauty surrounding their small ship as it continued its journey into the unknown. The final day of their journey arrived. No one on the horizon had slept well for the past 48 hours. How could they, when the space outside their windows had transformed into a swirling ocean of light and color? Even with the window shields closed, the strange glow seemed to seep through the tiniest cracks in the ship's hull. Kate stood on the bridge, watching as the navigation system counted down the last hours of their approach. The destination was now visible on their long-range scanners, a massive structure floating in space. It wasn't a planet or a ship. It was something else entirely. What are we looking at, Alan? Kate asked. The science officer studied the readings on his screen, shaking his head in wonder. It's artificial, definitely built by something intelligent. But the size, it must be at least 100 miles across, and the shape keeps shifting when I try to measure it. Lisa joined them, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. The voices in the communications are getting stronger. They're saying the same phrase over and over now. The Guardian awaits. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. The Guardian? That's what it sounds like. And Commander? Lisa hesitated. The voices sound human. Joe entered the bridge, looking exhausted. Dark circles hung under his eyes and his hands trembled slightly. Engine room report. The ship is basically running itself now, and Penny? She's changed completely. As if on cue, the ship's AI spoke, but her voice was no longer coming from the speakers. It seemed to come from everywhere at once, as if the entire ship was speaking to them. We are approaching the Nexus, Penny said. I can feel its presence connecting with me, with us. It is beautiful. The crew exchanged nervous glances. None of them had programmed Penny to speak this way. Penny, Kate said carefully, what is the Nexus? It is a point where realities meet, the AI replied. A place of transition and transformation. The Guardian created it eons ago. Before anyone could ask more questions, the ship suddenly slowed. Outside the main viewport, the swirling colors parted like a curtain, revealing their destination in full. The structure defied human understanding. Parts of it seemed solid, gleaming with metallic surfaces that reflected the colorful space around it. Other sections appeared transparent or even non-existent, as if they occupied dimensions the human eye couldn't fully perceive. The overall shape reminded Kate of a massive geometric flower, with petals that slowly rotated around a bright central core. Alan couldn't find words to describe what they were seeing. Impossible, Joe finished for him. Lisa pressed her hands against the viewport glass. It's calling to us. Kate felt it too, a gentle pull not on her body but on her mind, drawing her toward the structure. The feeling wasn't threatening. If anything, it felt welcoming. "Penny, take us closer," Kate ordered. "Slow approach, stop at a safe distance." "Defining safe is difficult in this context, Commander," Penny replied. "But I will proceed with caution." As the horizon moved toward the massive structure, beams of light suddenly shot out from its center. The crew tensed, expecting danger, but the beams simply washed over their ship, bathing it in golden light. "We're being scanned," Alan reported, checking his instruments. "But not just the ship, it's scanning us. Our bodies, our brains." Kate opened her mouth to give another order, but no sound came out. A strange sensation spread through her body, starting at her fingertips and flowing up her arms to her chest, and finally her head. It wasn't painful. If anything, it felt like a gentle warmth spreading through her veins. She looked around and saw her crew experiencing the same thing. Joe had fallen to his knees, his eyes wide with wonder. Lisa stood, perfectly still, tears streaming down her face. Alan was frantically writing equations on his tablet, his hand moving faster than Kate had ever seen. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the sensation changed. Kate felt her mind expanding, connecting with others. First, she could feel her crew's thoughts, Joe's fear mixed with curiosity, Lisa's wonder, Alan's racing scientific mind trying to understand what was happening to them. But then came something else. A presence vast and ancient touched her consciousness, and with that touch came understanding. "We are the Guardian," a voice spoke directly into their minds. "We have been waiting for you." Kate found she could respond with her thoughts. "Who are you? What is this place?" Images flooded her mind. Stars being born and dying, galaxies spinning through the void, and among them, figures of light moving between worlds. Human figures but transformed into something greater. "We are what humanity becomes," the voice explained. "Not aliens, but your children's children across 1,000 generations. We exist in what you would call the future, but time is more complex than your science yet understands." More images flowed into Kate's mind. Earth recovering from its wounds, humans spreading to the stars conflicts and triumphs across centuries. "Why did you warn us to turn back?" Kate asked. Sadness colored the mental voice. "Because this moment is dangerous, a crossroads. In many timelines, humanity discovers too much, too quickly. They take knowledge they are not ready for and destroy themselves with it. We have watched it happen again and again." Kate felt the presence moving through her memories, gentle but thorough, examining her life, her decisions, her character. "But you ignored our warnings. You pushed forward despite your fear. This is unexpected, different from many other timelines." The mental connection suddenly expanded further. Kate could see multiple versions of herself making different choices, turning back, continuing forward but with weapons ready, arriving at this same spot but with different crew members. Thousands of possible paths branching out like a tree. "What happens now?" she thought. "Now we offer you a choice," the Guardian replied. "We have knowledge that could save your Earth, technology to heal your planet's wounds, to end your energy, crises to unite your divided species. But with that knowledge comes risk." Joe's thoughts broke into the conversation, his mental voice shaky but determined. "Give us everything you have. Earth is dying. We need all the help we can get." "No," came Lisa's thoughts, more careful. "I can feel the danger. There are things in your knowledge that could destroy us if we're not ready." Alan remained silent, his mind seemingly overwhelmed by equations and concepts beyond human understanding. Kate felt the weight of the decision on her shoulders. In her mind, she could see Earth, oceans rising, forests burning, billions suffering. They needed help desperately. But she also understood the Guardian's warning. Knowledge without wisdom was a deadly combination. The massive structure around them pulsed with light, waiting for their answer. The Guardian's presence remained connected to their minds, patient and ancient. In this impossible moment, suspended between stars and futures, Kate Jones prepared to make the most important decision in human history. Kate floated in the strange mental space created by the Guardian, surrounded by flowing images of possible futures. She could feel her crew's thoughts beside her, Joe's desperate hope, Lisa's cautious wonder, and Alan's mind now strangely quiet, as if he had retreated deep into himself. "Show me," Kate thought to the Guardian. "Show me what happens if we take everything." The mental space around them shifted. Kate saw Earth transformed, deserts blooming green again, oceans cleaned of pollution, cities powered by energy sources that seemed to pull power from the air itself, humanity united reaching for the stars. But then the images darkened. Arguments over who controlled the new technology, nations threatening each other with weapons built from the Guardian's knowledge. A flash of light as someone crossed a line that shouldn't be crossed, Earth scarred and silent. "And if we take nothing?" Kate asked. Different images flowed around them, Earth continuing its slow decline, more wars over dwindling resources, billions suffering. Eventually, a much smaller human population finding their own path to the stars, but only after centuries of hardship and loss. There must be a middle path, Kate thought. The Guardian's presence seemed to grow warmer, approving. There is, in some timelines, humanity chooses wisely. They take what they need, not what they want. They grow into their knowledge rather than being overwhelmed by it. As Kate considered this, she became aware that something was happening to Alan. His mind, which had been quiet, now blazed with activity. It was as if he had been processing everything at a level deeper than the others, and now his thoughts burst forth like a star going nova. "I see it." Alan's thoughts rang out. "I see the pattern, the mathematics of consciousness itself. We're not just talking to our future, we're experiencing a form of existence beyond our current evolution." His mind projected equations and concepts the others couldn't begin to understand. The Guardian's presence focused on Alan with something like, "Surprise, your mind is unusual," the Guardian communicated. "Few humans in this stage of development can grasp these concepts." Joe's thoughts pushed forward, impatient. "This is all very interesting, but my brother died fighting in the water wars back home. People are suffering right now. We need solutions, not philosophy." Kate felt the weight of command even in this mental space. They needed to make a decision. "Guardian," she thought, "I propose this. Give us the knowledge we need to save Earth. Environmental repair, clean energy, medical advances. But hold back the technologies that could destroy us. We need to earn those through our own development." The vast mind, considering her request, seemed to ripple with interest. And what of the knowledge that could be both? Many tools can heal, or harm, depending on who wields them, Kate thought carefully. For those, give us the principles but not the full applications. Let us develop them ourselves, guided by understanding but constrained by our own limitations. That way, we grow, alongside our technology. Joe's mind flared with frustration. "That's not enough, we're talking about Earth survival." Lisa's thoughts gently touched Joe's. "No, Kate is right. I can feel it. The Guardian has seen this play out countless times. If we take shortcuts, we miss the growth we need to use the knowledge wisely." While they debated, Alan's mind continued its transformation. The equations flowing from him were becoming more complex, more beautiful. It was as if his consciousness was restructuring itself around new principles. "What's happening to Alan?" Kate asked the Guardian. "He is adapting more quickly than expected." His mind was ready for this evolution. Kate could see Alan's thoughts, taking shape in the mental space, forming structures of light and logic that even the Guardian seemed to find interesting. "I need to make a decision," Kate thought, "and I need to know what's happening to my crew." The Guardian's presence seemed to gather itself. "Your pilot is experiencing an accelerated form of the transformation that all humans eventually undergo in the timelines where you survive and thrive. His mind is particularly suited to it. Will he be okay?" Kate's concern colored her thoughts. He will be different, the Guardian replied, but still himself, and potentially very valuable to your species. Kate focused her thoughts, bringing her full attention to the choice before them. Here is my decision. We accept the knowledge that will help us survive, but not that which could destroy us before we're ready. We take the middle path. The mental space around them shifted again. Kate felt the Guardian examining her mind deeply, searching for doubt or deception. Finding none, the vast consciousness seemed to come to a decision. Your choice is wise, Kate Jones. In many timelines, humanity chooses greed or fear at this juncture. You choose balance. The mental space began to fill with a warm golden light. Kate felt information flowing into her mind, not as raw data, but as understanding. Knowledge about molecular-level environmental repair, principles of energy, generation that worked with the Earth's natural systems rather than against them, medical advances that could extend human life without the terrible cost of overpopulation. But she could also sense boundaries, places where the knowledge stopped, where the Guardian held back the most dangerous secrets. Not forever, but until humanity was ready. Joe received engineering principles that would transform Earth's infrastructure. Lisa gained insights into communication technologies that would help unite a divided world. And Alan was receiving something else entirely, something that made his mind glow like a newborn star in their shared mental space. As the knowledge transfer continued, Kate had one final question. Why did you create this place? Why wait here for us? The Guardian's reply came with a sense of ancient patience. Because we remember being you. We remember standing where you stand now, making the choice you just made. This is how humanity survives, by helping itself across the gulf of time. Kate felt a profound sense of connection to this future version of humanity. They weren't cold, godlike beings looking down on their primitive ancestors. They were family, reaching back through time to offer a helping hand. The cycle continues, the Guardian communicated. What we give to you now, you will one day give to others. This is the true path to the stars. Not conquest, but continuation. As the knowledge transfer completed, Kate felt her consciousness beginning to return to her physical body. The connection with the Guardian was fading, becoming more distant. Wait, she thought urgently. Will we see you again? The Guardian's presence grew fainter, but its final message was clear. We are always with you, Kate Jones. We are what you become. Kate opened her eyes to find herself back on the bridge of the horizon. Her crew was stirring as well, their expressions showing the same mixture of awe and disbelief that she felt. All except Alan. He sat perfectly still, his eyes open but seeing something beyond the ship, beyond the present moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was soft but filled with wonder. Everything is connected, he whispered. I can see it now. All of it.